Welcome, everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo, and we're covering the Saturday games from the WNBA. And this game, down the stretch, it got really interesting. Chicago was on a run right near the end of the third quarter, and it went into the fourth because Connecticut had started out with a big lead. Right at the beginning of the game, they went ahead and they were up by as many as, I think, 20 points. And, things were looking bleak for Chicago. And then Kia Nurse, boy, she was hitting lights out. Just three after three after three. She hit 5 of them. And also hit another shot. She ended up being Chicago's leading scorer with 19 points. So wonderful game from Kia Nurse. I mean, I've known her from back in her UConn days, and she's always been a good three-point shooter, but she's just been hit and miss in a lot of these Chicago games. But boy, tonight she was on, and she just made it very interesting. It was like, oh, they're getting closer. Okay, they got it down to 10. All right, now they got it to 7. Now they got it to 4. And then Connecticut came back a little bit and then got it back down to 4. And then in the end, they just ended up having a foul. And that's what got you the 10-point victory for the Connecticut Sun, 94-84. And, both teams shot really well. Both teams shot. Connecticut shot 51% from the floor. And Chicago shot 49.2. That's a good, respectable shooting percentage. And then three-point shooting for Chicago was 47.4%. That was very good. They took 19 threes. They made 9 of them. Connecticut also shot well from 3. They were 8 for 20 at 40%. So, but one of the big glaring differences in this game was the turnovers. Connecticut only had 9 turnovers. Seattle had 19. And Connecticut got 26 points off those turnovers. And Chicago only got 8 points off those 9. So Connecticut's biggest lead was 21 points in the, pretty sure that was in the first half. Connecticut also had more fast break points. Points in the paint were even. Second chance points were even. So breaking it down by quarter, it was mainly the first half. Connecticut outscored Chicago 28-13. And then the rest of the game, Chicago actually outscored the Sun all 3 quarters, but only by a small amount. So they were, catching up, but just didn't have quite enough. So they outscored them 27-28 in the second, then 20-18, and then 23-21 in the final quarter. But what a nice run. To see these two teams who are basically vying for who's going to finish last. I actually, at this point, with Angel Reese back and how well Connecticut's playing, I think Dallas is probably going to finish last. So you now have 3 teams with 9, and I don't know how many losses Dallas has, but they all have 9 wins. So it'll be interesting to see. I think we have 8 or 9 games left. And it'd be interesting to see because, I could see the difference in Connecticut like about 2 weeks ago. It was like, ooh, boy, they're playing well. They're, and then they beat the Mystics twice, and now they beat Chicago. I've got to look at who they have left on their schedule, but, Connecticut's playing well. So, and so is Chicago. I mean, Chicago got a slow start, and that killed them. That and their turnovers killed them. But, they still, they had fight in them. And, the incident with Tyler Marsh, that was a little scary, to see a coach run at an official like that and swing. He didn't swing at him, but he swung towards him with his arm. A coach coming running at you like that, I don't care, good, bad, or ugly official. You can't do that. That was a little over the top. But, I understand his passion and everything, but, fouls get called, fouls get not called all the time. And especially the the official that was under the basket, like the play, if the foul was going to get called, it was going to get called by the official that was like where the camera was, because that's where you could see her kind of wrap around to try and grab the ball. But if you were under the basket, you just see like an arm coming through to, grab the ball, because they did show a different angle, from where that official was. If it was going to get a foul called, that was the official that was over on the side. So I don't know. I've officiated, and basketball is the toughest sport to officiate. It's very difficult. I'm not saying good, bad, or indifferent for the WNBA officials, but you do have to understand it's a very hard thing to do, because things are happening at lightning speed, and you have players that will, fake a charge or whatever. But it's hard to do. It's, everybody's complaining about them, but I don't know. I mean, and I've certainly seen some egregious things, but like I said, it's very hard to officiate basketball. So, breaking down the players, you had Connecticut with 4 players in double figures. Connecticut had 3 players with 20-plus points. You had Marina Mabrey with 20. Tina Charles with 23. Bria Hartley had 23. And as much as Kia Nurse was hitting, so was Bria Hartley. She only hit 3, but it seemed like a lot more. It seemed like everything she was throwing up. She only missed 1 shot. So there were 2s instead of all 3s. But she was 8 for 9. And then she was 4 for 6 from the foul line. So very good game for her. Lacan had 6 points. She ended up getting colliding with Angel Reese and she's going to have a nice little shiner on over her eye. She was putting ice on it for the rest of the game, so she was out. But in the time she was in there, she got 6 points and 4 assists. Aaliyah Edwards didn't score, but she had 2 blocks and a steal and 3 rebounds. Rivers had 13 points. She was the other person in double figures. She had 3 steals, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. She was 2 for 4 from 3 and 4 for 10 overall. So good game for Rivers. She's been a very impressive rookie. Nelson Adota didn't score, but she didn't play that much in this game. And then Tori came in, and she scored 2 points. She hit a basket. So that was it for Connecticut. Oh, and then Morrow, I forgot, I missed her. She had 7 points and 5 rebounds, 2 steals, a block, 2 turnovers, and an assist. She was 2 for 4 from the floor, and she hit a 3, which I think they announced in the game that it was like, she's like a 21% three-point shooter or something. She doesn't take a whole lot of them. So for Chicago, we had 4 players also in double figures, but nobody was over 20 points. Kia Nurse led Chicago with 19. She was 6 for 10 overall, 5 for 9 from 3. Like I said, she was just hitting it was just like, when someone gets in a hot streak like that, they just start flying in. You could like put it up with your eyes closed and they go in. That's always fun when that happens to you. Angel Reese had a double-double. She had 11 points, 11 rebounds. She had 5 assists, 2 turnovers. She was 5 for 10 from the floor. Cardoso was 7 for 14, so both of them shot 50% from the floor. Cardoso had 18 points. She had 6 turnovers, though. 5 assists and 7 rebounds. She got to clean up those turnovers. Ariel Atkins had 12 points. She had a steal, 2 turnovers, 3 assists, and 6 rebounds. She was 4 for 8. Rachel Banham had 8 points. She was 2 for 4 from 3. She had 2 turnovers and 3 assists. Uzin had 6 points. She was 3 for 6. She had 3 turnovers, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds. And then Rebecca Allen, she was 3 for 6 from the line. Elizabeth Williams had 4 points. And Helly Van Lith got in the game. She didn't score. She had a turnover, 2 assists, and a rebound. So, it became an exciting game. Started to look like a blowout, but Chicago came back and made it an exciting game. So, anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.